It's week 2 of Thursday Night Football, and it features the guy who took all of the attention in week 1, other than Aaron Rodgers. The question is, will he be at full strength to chase one of the most premier, exciting quarterbacks in the league? Stay tuned and I'll let you know how this plays out on Thursday night on Gridiron Gab Pro Style.
The autumn winds move like the thunderous waves of Neptune's sacred palace. And here, amongst the blackened soil, lies the ragged hands, worn, torn, and callous. They await with cunning and vicious prowess, for the warriors have returned. Come on, Dave! Don't do it! No way! Ready? Crying out loud! You're driving me nuts! But behold.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you all so much for joining us here on this edition of Gridiron Gab Pro Style. Of course, you're gabbing with the one and only Mr. CeeLo, and I just want to let you guys know the weather is starting to cool off. It's wonderful, and I am ecstatic. Now, we got business to attend to. We've got our next couple of Thursdays up until right about January, if I recall correctly, all busy. And we start with week 2, ladies and gentlemen, as we look at a preview for the Washington Commanders and the Green Bay Packers. Now, as many of you saw in this game, you've got, well, as you're going to see in this game, you got 2 of the premier pass rushers going head to head. And I'm going to say it like this. This game that they had against the Giants, no matter what anybody has to say, the Giants have a good defense. I mean, we can sit here and we can squawk about that all day. And we have already established that this team is a very good football team on the defensive side, which has to worry you if you're a Green Bay Packer fan. Because when you win defensive football games, it's really difficult to pinpoint what the keys to victory are. And I know a lot of people say, what? That makes no sense. You can sit and say, okay, let's make sure we block this guy, or let's make sure we block this guy. When you look at the game that they played against the Lions, they were able to shut down the run, which is something that the Packers did struggle with quite a bit. But when you look at the totality of it, Jared Goff's not a guy that gets out and moves. This presents a different animal as a whole with Jaden Daniels. This is a guy that can get out and move. And for the most part, when you look at how effective the Green Bay Packers were, they didn't just get after him with Micah Parsons. Jordan Love was unable to do certain things. And now I will say this about the Commanders. Do I still think this is the football team that's going to struggle with the run? Possibly. But we look at Detroit, and Detroit's good against the run, not great. They were only able to Josh Jacobs was still able to run the ball for 66 yards. So when you look at a football team like the Commanders that really put together a really good football team defensively, when you look at Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu, guys that are just absolute ball hawks and ball carrier, just punishers, they are going to be guys that get after it. And see, when I look at this team, I look at the fact that you got Jaden Reed and you got Romeo Doubs. I will say this, do I think Matthew Golden's going to be a guy that they can possibly get down the field? If they can protect, that's going to be the key as to whether or not the Packers can take shots down the field. I'm not so sure they're going to be able to. Because, when you watch this game and you say, okay, Commanders, can we stop the throw down the field? Now, see, I don't know if they can. And see, there were a lot of times Jordan Love was looking for the home run. He got it once or twice with Dobbs. But can they slow that down from a team that because they go from a team in Russell Wilson that really wasn't wanting to take deep shots. Now they're going to go to a team, even though they don't have Christian Watson, they still want to take shots down the field. They want to run the football and they want to run play action. Are the Commanders going to be able to make sure that their coverage is good enough down the field? Because Frankie Louv and Bobby Wagner are coming up when they see run. They're going to shoot up there. Are they going to be able to keep Dorrance Armstrong and Daron Payne off of Jordan Love? That's the key question. I don't know if that's the case. And see, Von Miller was a non-factor in this game. He was really not a huge factor in that game against New York. That's not to say he won't be in this Green Bay game, because the reality is that Jordan Love didn't get touched in this game. And in my opinion, I don't think the Commanders are a pure pass rush team. So I think ultimately this could be a game where the Packers could, this game is going to be predicated on whether or not the Washington Commanders can get Jaden Daniels on the perimeter. That's what I think. Because ultimately, Jaden Daniels brings so many different things to the party, but the ultimate one is his ability to use his legs and extend plays. This is something that the Green Bay Packers don't see in their division all that often. Because you think you got stagnant Jared Goff, you got somewhat when you look at Caleb Williams. He still hasn't figured himself out. And then last year you had Sam Darnold, who's a statue of his own. So you don't really, as Green Bay, you don't get to see a whole lot of mobile quarterbacks. A lot of your mobile quarterbacks are in the AFC. So in a sense, this is going to be a game, in my opinion, to me, Washington has to get Jaden Daniels on the move, especially if they don't have Austin Eckler. Now, don't get me wrong, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt had a great game carrying the football, but can he carry that over into another game? I will say, with a defense like the Giants, they were able to run the football. I think, now this is just my opinion, I know they shut down the Lions running game. I get it. I understand exactly what people are going to say. To me, what kills you about Washington is that no matter what happens, Washington can beat you without having a whole bunch of yards. They have a distinct game plan and they don't deviate from it. But I think they're going to have to deviate from it this week. Jaden Daniels is going to have to be a large part of this offense in order for them to be successful. Deebo Samuel going to have to be more than one carry with this Washington Commander offense. I think Daniels is going to have to be a huge carrier in this game, and I think Deebo is going to have to be huge because it's going to open up Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. And for what it's worth, you look at what the Commanders were able to do, and this game was still in doubt. So with that being said, I'm going to honestly go out there and I'm going to say, I think this will be a close game, but I think ultimately it's going to be a Green Bay Packer win. I don't think Michael Parsons destroys this game, but I think he is such a huge threat to this game that he's going to cause a lot of issues and cause a lot of havoc that this football team's not going to be able to deal with. However, you're going to hear me flip my pick yet again. What? I do think Jaden Daniels is going to be able to overcome that chaos because look what he was able to do against the Giants.
Bruh.
I'm taking the Commanders in the upset. But that's going to do it, guys. I hope you enjoy the Thursday night game. Guys, let me know if you don't agree with my prediction here that the Commanders are going to upset the Packers on Thursday night football. Let me know in the comments. Also, make sure you go to my Facebook at Gridiron Gab Pro Style. Join the group as well as the page. And finally, go to my Instagram at Mr. CeeLo so you can keep up with all the cool shenanigans I will be involved in during the season. But until the next time, same Gab channel, same Gab platform.
But behold, there is a warm breeze that comes from the west. The blazing sounds of victory fuel their everlasting quest. It is a call to arms, for they are here. An army that has the will to challenge and the will to dare.